Hi, I'm Stuart, and welcome to SIRENNET Television. Hey, Chris, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Thanks very much, Stuart. How about yours?
It was great, yeah. Got to come in and do some work.
I did too. I didn't see you at the office.
No, you see, I hide out on the bunker all the time.
Oh.
Chris, what have we got today to take apart?
Today, I have STAR, or SVP, Signal Vehicle Products, SS670, and it's one of their self-contained siren amplifier units. I'm going to give you a bit of an inside look as to what's contained in this nice black powder-coated box, because to be honest, when I was in a few days ago, it's taking them off the shelf and really curious as to what's in here and making this thing do what it does. The unit has two screws on the back here, which hold the housing together. So I'm going to go ahead, get those out of the way so I can slide the top away from the bottom assembly. There we go. Nice little set of stainless steel screws. Can now go ahead, slide the two pieces apart. So one piece housing here with side mounts. I'll get to those in a second. You can see how it's bent on the back piece here, where the two mount screws go in. With that away, give you a great view, and actually then for myself right now, curiosity satisfied as to what's in here, and it's actually more than I thought it was going to be. I figured there'd be a bit more space and not quite as much wiring and other fancy electronics, but that's the fun thing about taking stuff apart, seeing what's in here and making things do what it does. Quick connect inputs, which is a really great feature. So if for some reason you ever need to do any button replacements, like say on the front here, you have the main switch input for the main on and off of the unit, which is a great feature. So self-contained on and off. So if you don't want to have any buttons, accidentally have the potential to activate, you just kick it to the off position. Then when you're ready to key up your tones or your microphone, you'll flip it over to the power. And when it's wired up, the switch will also glow red, so you'll have just a visual indicator both for day and night if it's on or off. Inside here, you have main circuitry. Main relay component here lets the electronics go in, flow out basically to the speaker inputs. So it's kind of a self-contained relay, resistor, retainer unit, and then also part of the electronic chip assemblies as well. You can see all the main circuitry going from the switch here and into the soldering points of the main chip go into the input here. It's a 12-pin quick connect input. And so with that, with the 670 kit, I'll go ahead and grab everything down here. Included is a nice lengthy quick connect harness. So for the back of the amplifier, the harness will plug right in. So for install, it'll be great and simple. You can drop this into the console, mount it on the side of the glove box, side of the console box, depending on what you want to call it and what vehicle you're working with. Once it's mounted up, then you can take the harness, plug it right in. It's several feet in length, so unlike a short pigtail, you get a nice bit of length of wire to already go ahead and work with. On the trigger end, you have several inputs. So you have a main lead, main ground to operate the unit. So this is what you'll tie into your vehicle's electrical system. From there, the brown inputs will tie into your 100-watt speaker. So whichever one of your choosing, be it a SIRENNET, Wail, Code 3, Federal Signal, or pair the unit up with a speaker from SVP to have a great sounding unit. The input triggers here operate additional features that this unit offers. So for example, you have a PKILL input, so you can tie this into vehicle lighting or into a vehicle door switch. So when you arrive on scene, rather than having to turn the unit off, adjust the rotary knob, it'll go ahead and kick itself off when you open a door or other trigger source for deactivation. So really a great feature. You can just go hands-free with it. And speaking of hands-free, there's also a trigger wire here to tie the unit to your vehicle's horn ringer. So if you'd rather not have to reach down, adjust the rotary knob, hit the manual buttons that are on the front face of it, so manual input buttons here that are spring-loaded, also rotary knob here, which is adjustable to the selected tone that you want. You can tie it into the steering wheel, so when you do a single tap, activates the unit, When you're running code, you can keep hands on the wheel. Another tap, it'll adjust the tone. Another tap, it'll adjust the tone forward, so you can have different tones going for your vehicle as you're responding, just more attention grabbing. And then with a quick double tap, I wish I had a steering wheel here, it'd be easier. Unfortunately, it's not part of the usual studio gig, but double tap and it'll deactivate it. So hands-free and park kill, really great features, whether it's for a department or for a volunteer's vehicle. Give you a bit of an inside look here. Hopefully the back of the housing doesn't obstruct it a bit, but if the camera can zoom in, you can actually see here the back of the rotary knob assembly. So you can actually see when it's spun, it clicking around and changing to the different positions. Also, you can see through the front of the unit here, you have indicators so you know what your rotary knob is set to. Well, on the back, you can see that it actually glows through just from the studio lighting, and there's actually a diode mounted right here to the bottom of the electronic assembly board, and that illuminates so you'll actually have a nice backglow feature. So again, for nighttime use, you can see in your peripherals, or if you need to glance down quickly when you're stopped, you can adjust the tone on the rotary knob with seeing what it's going to. So you're not really just adjusting to a tone that you're seeing blindly. So really nice feature. Pretty straightforward. Microphone here, which is a great feature. It's actually hard mounted to the unit, so it's not a removable piece. Gives you the ability to do public broadcast. And then you can also see on the bottom of the unit here, it goes through the front face assembly and actually has a quick disconnect. So if you ever need to do any servicing or internal work, the microphone can be removed from inside the main circuitry here. Another neat little feature on the internal side of the Siren amplifier here is the little jumper pins that it offers. So I'll zoom in a little bit, kind of right here where my finger is, give you a better view. But what the jumpers allow you to do is manipulate the functions of this system. So quick example here of one of the pin jump options, and it's actually great. You can just go ahead, grab the little unit with your fingers, slide it right out, and then slide it over onto the other jumper. So great little straightforward unit. But what it does is, for example, on the park kill side, if you want to wire it, say, to a negative source versus a positive, how it's set out of manufacturing, you can adjust the jumper pin so the park kill will then trigger off of a negative. So again, if you're doing a door switch, it's working off of a ground circuit versus a lead, open it up, adjust the jumper pin, and then it's straightforward for you. So go ahead, slide this back on to where it was initially here. And then also, you can adjust the tones. So you can do a tone disable, or if you want to adjust a two-tone function, you can do that. So now that I've had a bit of a curiosity satisfaction, taking a look at the inside of the unit here, I'm going to go ahead, take the casing, put it back together. So it's actually got slide channels on the left and the right here. So get that lined up. Go ahead, slide it back together, and tuck it under the front lip there. Go ahead, take the two little retainer screws, place those back in the back of the unit here. And there we go, reassembled. So again, for the harness with the quick connect, go ahead and plug an end of it here. And it actually goes in one way only, so there's actually a tooth on the edge. So there's a distinctive top and bottom. So after you get all your connections done, you don't have to worry about plugging this in upside down and then having speakers going to door triggers or door triggers going to a battery or something crazy. So it's just a plug-in, very specific. For mounting the unit, if you're not going to do a faceplate, which is actually available from just about every, well, I shouldn't say just about every, from every console manufacturer out there, you can drop this in with a faceplate, or, like I mentioned previously, it has a mounting bracket for doing it on the dash or on the side of the console. Bracket's done specific for it, so through here, bolts, screws, some kind of fasteners of your choosing. It'll go around the unit. And then with a little kit that's included, and also microphone clip for you as well, nice stainless steel one, mounting screws included. You have a set of bolts here that'll allow the bracket to go into the side. So we'll just go ahead, line it up. And then there you have it. So you have the ability to have the unit hang, side mount, or off the side of a console. It's also, there's 3 different holes set in the bracket here, so it's a bit height adjustable. So if you need to have it hang a little lower, hang up a little tighter, you can adjust it on the bracket side. To remove it, just go ahead, unscrew these parts here, and away they go. In the harness, quick disconnect. So for removing it, push the tabs in here, and it releases. Right above it is a self-contained 15 amp fuse. So when you're doing your install, you don't need to add any other separate inline fuses. You have one built right into the rear of the unit, and it's great and easily accessible. Go ahead, tuck these back away here. Just need to take a look at it one more time here, just remembering the face. And also, one more function on the knobs here is you have a little secondary small rotary adjustment. And what this allows you to do is adjust your PA volume. So if you need to communicate at a higher level or a lower level, or if you just need to kind of make it a little bit clearer depending on what's going on around the scene, you can adjust your volume right here on the front of the unit. Don't need any special tools. Easy to get with the fingers right there. So really nice little function there. Well, there we have it. Myself, yourself included, the SS670 from Star SVP. Thanks for spending some time with us here, SIRENNET Television. Back to you, Stuart.
Well, there you have it. Again, always thanks to Chris taking things apart. I'm Stuart, and as usual, you've been watching SIRENNET Television.